This is Noe, and we are in Love for Movies, TV, and Music. Today we're gonna talk about Love is Blind Season 3. If you have watched it, what have you thought about it? We are very interested in your thoughts. Well, first of all, we have many couples. We have 5 couples. They were formed in the pods. They were very sure when they ended up saying, "Will you marry me?" They wanted to get married, but along the way we have trouble in paradise, and not all of them end up together, or not all of them end up saying "I do." First we have Alex and Brennon. Alex and Brennon have a great relationship. At the beginning they really hit it off, especially with the food part. Alexa is very loving of her body, so when she heard that Brennan liked to cook and he didn't want it to be limited, and she also didn't want that, so they ended up pretty quickly together. They were the first couple made, probably. Then we have Bartise and Nancy. Bartise, it's a really fit guy, so it was pretty difficult at the beginning for him to choose between the women that he idealized, like people very fit, or a woman like Nancy that is not fit exactly and has another way of thinking. And they went pretty sure saying, "We're gonna get married," but at the end reality shook, and Nancy's family especially was very upset when Barty said he didn't want to get married with Nancy. So Barty had it coming. Then we had Cole and Zanab. Poor Cole. Let me say this. Poor Cole. Because at the beginning everything was pretty. I think he wanted to be with Colleen, but at the end, because of opening up and this stuff, he ended up with Zanab. And Zanab was the most far away thing that he could have found and show to him. Like, he was very goofy, kinda he has a personality that is very much sparkly, and like he said, you gotta be able to banter with him. If you're not able to banter, you shouldn't be marrying him. So Zanab is the complete opposite. In the pods, she was so enthusiastic. She wanted to be a really good wife and everything. But when reality hit, they had been clashing all the time. Like, she couldn't handle the messiness that came with having Cole around. So it was pretty difficult for her. It was pretty difficult in that aspect. And we had all the other things that she made up in her head, and we couldn't see as an audience. Even in the reunion, we couldn't see what she could see, and she had convinced the other people around her that what she thought was real. So the cutest scene that they end up showing us at the end of the show, it's practically like you can see there that you cannot believe her completely, because she made that a complete opposite of the scene there. I mean, like, Cole never said to her that she was fat, never asked her to be perfect for the wedding, and we hadn't expectations about that. So, like, she dominates this part. Like, it seems like she's the damsel in distress all the time, and he ends up being the bad guy without wanting to be. And at the end, he's always saying sorry. And I really felt for the guy. It was that much I felt for the guy that I wanted to do this recapitulation about this show. So we are here now just for Cole. And that's just insane because I never do about the reality shows recapitulation. So it's really engaging in this situation. Let's move on that. We have SK and Raven. At the beginning we had Raven, like we were thinking she could end up with Bartise because they were like very similar, and then it didn't work out. Raven started to take an interest in SK, and then Bartise said to her that he was not interested, so she practically moved on. Plus we have the guy named Bartise pouring his heart on the other side of the pot, and she is doing exercise. She couldn't care less. Poor Bartise, I felt for the guy that there too, but clearly they weren't a good match, so it was better. It was better at the end, even though when SK and Raven went to the altar, SK ended up saying no. He didn't want to get married, but they had a pretty complication living thing problem to solve, so it was complicated. And plus I think it ended up adding to the fact that they didn't know completely each other. So after the show they ended up going out, and they're still together, and you can see the love in the reunion meeting. So they have hope. And we have Matt and Colleen. Matt and Colleen started pretty good in the pots. They went to the getaway place really good at the beginning, and then everything started to fall apart for them, just because we have issues of Matt that he couldn't handle, because he was cheated on. So it's pretty easy to tend to think that the other person is going to do that to you again. Like you're thinking, again, this is gonna happen to me. So it was very difficult for this guy to pull through that. And we see Colleen suffering over something that we thought maybe, for a moment I thought that she could have been a better fit for Cole. But when he started to think that she could be superficial just because she couldn't open up with him, then that went down the hill. And when they saw each other, they saw the glimpse of a spark that could have been between them. And yes, maybe they could have been a better fit, because as soon as Matt had the doubt, Matt was like pretty cool with Colleen. There was no "you are the perfect wife," there was none of that. Then I was just thinking that they weren't going to get married, but when they ended up in the altar, the guy was crying, burst out like, "This is the greatest moment of my life." So in that moment just boiled for me. because I wasn't convinced of their love until that moment. And in the reunion, he spoke so beautifully about her. I haven't seen in the other scenes that they showed this way of talking about her, of him. So I was pretty glad because I felt for the girl. I felt for Colleen. It was difficult for her. It was such a hurdle. But at the end, they stayed together. They ended up together. I don't know if it's going to work on the long run, but they seem they're working. It's Alex and Brennon. Brennon, like, he even, I think, signed a prenup because Alexa is not interested into, like, giving him all the money or whatever. I don't know how much money does she have, but she can't repeat an outfit. That's just insane. I mean, I thought people didn't do that anymore, but no, it's true. They keep on doing it. It's crazy. Well, Love is Blind season 3. It was like a roller coaster. I think I enjoyed the season. There was a lot of drama, not like in the others, in a way that you were like, we couldn't complete many things. So I like this season more because we could fill up the gaps sometimes, so that they couldn't show us. It was more interesting. It was more compelling, and if you want to watch it, you're gonna have a good time watching it. It's not gonna be like blank. It is, for me, a great show. So what did you thought about it? What did you think about it? Sorry. What are your thoughts? Comment, subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell so we can have more of these chats.